131st. Because
Wow.
we're 130 last time and 129 before that.
That would make sense
Yeah.
generally in the form of counting.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome everyone. Today we have the ever wonderful and industrious Ali Kala.
But hello, I beep boop like a factory because
Beep
that's all
boop.
I could think of.
There's a bunch of robots in the background who might
I love
occasionally talk to us in robotic voices.
I love our robots.
They're
You
pretty
guys are the
great.
best.
Cute pencil case said hi.
See? And
And the amazing living dad over here, who's
hey,
actually alive. Isn't that crazy?
beep boop.
Or is he? Da da da.
That's to be seen. As a reminder, that thing that scrolls across the top and that you can see on the side, in case reading's not quite your cutie mark, you should submit your art to us so we can critique it. First come, first serve. If you're here, you get served before the people who we drag out of the sub.
Absolutely, because we get to actually talk to you. And that's
Yeah.
pretty great.
It's pretty great. All right, let's start with the arts. The arts. We're gonna. Which one do we want to do? The top left hand.
Yeah, do some
Whose
twi.
is that? That is Purple Horse.
Purple.
I use the scrolling thing on top to know if it's loading. That's fair. That's a good call.
You know what? That is a good call.
We're just gonna actually change the text up there to say Maze. This is actually loading.
Don't worry, we're still live.
All right, so Purple Horse's post says life got busy, but it's finally time to get back on the horse. Haha! Embrace some bad habits too. That's funny. So
I like.
anti-graph paper spray. Ah, that's funny.
Yay! I appreciate it.
You get a golden star. So that's all they actually say on this one. So let's talk this horse through.
Talky talk. I'd say you have some pretty nice clean lines. Definitely, I like the expression, the eyes. I like the eyes the best out of all of it.
Mm-hmm. But the face could use some rearrangement.
Mm-hmm.
So let's throw some color on here. I also highly suggest. It looks like you're taking a picture with the cell phone. That's fine if that's all you got. If you have a scanner bed, use it. Always use it. It always makes pictures look better.
Or if you can at least take a picture like by sunlight instead of like camera flash, I find that helps a little bit better too.
Yeah. Drench it in light, and then you're gonna also go to your controls and adjust all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. But yes. So we were talking about, like we said, the face could use a little, a little help. It's not too bad. I think something you need to remember is the muzzles. You have a very thin muzzle up top, where if you look at a horse, I'm referring to real horses at this point, the top part of the muzzle is actually thicker than the bottom part, and they do carry that onto MLP itself. If you look at some of their faces and how the muzzle's divided, usually it'll be closer to the bottom. So if we had something like, down here. Little snoot, little bulbar snoot. There's so many ways to draw snoots out there, so feel free to experiment. But I would just keep in mind that usually the top snoot, where the nose is going to be bigger than the chin.
Mm-hmm. So I'd just do some minor modifications to the way the body curves. Right now you have a pretty similar front to back. The butt actually curves in, So it sort of collapses on the badongadonk.
Technical term.
Yep. Technical. Yeah. So I just pull that in a bit more. Drop some weight off of there. I would also take the line on the chest here for the leg, and I'll just extend that. The way you have it done right now would be what you would see from like their front end view, where you're not really getting a hip to them, but from their sides they start growing that hip, at least when you start rotating the show a bit. It's your call on how you actually want to treat that hip. I love to treat them like dogs, like dogs, where they have a full hip there at all times, because that just makes my life easy, rather than making it a hip that disappears based on relative positioning of the camera, because that's just silly. I would also say watch your back leg, because it too should have the hawk. Now to actually move it back more, and then you get to hide that entire hawk, so it's not there. I know it sounds weird that I just said you should do it and then not do it, but believe in me who believes in you.
Art, man. It's all about just trying things and seeing how just 7 different ways can still be right and also wrong at the same time.
Totally.
Because there's, crazy thing. The other thing, with the whole body, just quick throwing it in there, the neck is very short and thin for as big as a head and body you have. It feels more like a filly proportioned neck rather than like a full-grown mare.
Yeah. And one final note from the book of Zamzam. I'd make this pose a little more interesting. She's recoiling from the blast of water, right? When you go shoot a cat with water, which is something everyone should do because it's hilarious. No, when you hit your cat with water because it's been bad and decided to eat your plants again,
oh no.
they recoil, and they recoil a lot. Not just a little like this. They will like curl up or stick. If they had the ability to stick hands in front of their face, I bet they would do that. I would get more body motion into what's going on here. So curling down the front, like making her crouch down more to, try and duck under the blast. Whatever it takes to give it more life. That would be my suggestion. And I know you said you're just getting back on the horse. Why not for your next one? Give him more life.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to get references, like pose references, not only from the show, from other artists, from real life. It doesn't even have to be horses. It can be dogs, cats, anything really with 4 legs will be great.
Totally. All right. Are you done, Allie?
Yeah.
Awesome. You're just doodling for doodle's sake.
Trying to just show the neck a little bit longer.
Okay. I get it. Why don't we move on to this other Twy, who has a pony shaking her butt at Twy. This one is Please Don't Send Me Back to Drawing Kindergarten. Ha! Funny! More funny
it.
People. Alright. It is by Bad Wolf the Roman? Bad Wolf the Roman. Okay. Is this a Doctor Who reference? I'm not quite sure.
Bad Wolf. It's perfect.
Alright.
So.
All we got is a
I
headshot.
can ask questions. Yeah.
I don't think they're drawing in a regular drawing program. I think they're in like MS Paint, based on the line widths and the squareness of these guys here. Mm-hmm. So this suggestion we make to a few people. Don't feel offended when we say this. Don't do this. The reason is because you're just hindering yourself. You're taking all the nice things that you'll get from using a pencil, a pen, or a digital tablet, and you're removing them just for the sake of being able to color fill an area and save it easily. It's not worth it. Mm-mm. If you have access to a pencil and a piece of paper because you don't have a digital tablet, then use that. I know digital's the hot stuff. It's like, look at that digital picture. Traditional, all good artists have done traditional and still do traditional. The traditional is a great starting point, and it doesn't have to be the ending point, but it gets you used to how you pens move, how uh, how to move your arms, because you're going to have to translate that over to digital anyway. It's not worth trying to use a mouse to do that. So,
Like, if you are really interested in bettering your drawing skills, it's definitely good to draw. If you're just having fun with a mouse and a computer and want to make art, that's fine. But, like, honestly, if you want to make those good drawing skills, those good drawing habits, it's good to use good drawing tools.
yeah.
Like a pen, like a pencil, pen, paper, simple stuff. Doesn't have to be so complex.
Man, I love traditional. I hardly ever touch my digital tablet anymore. I mostly just use traditional. It's much more fun. It's more live, I find. But that's me. I know people who will not touch traditional for the life of them. Because not having Control Z is a real problem.
It is. It's hard, but there's just so much. I don't know. It's so dumb and cliched to say this, but it sometimes just feels nice to have literally an extension of your hand. Like when you paint, it's like you feel everything. Where digital, you have this one feeling, and it's the pen against the tablet, and there's no changes. There's no like, There's just more connection to traditional, I find, physically.
So let's talk the horse head here.
The horsey horse?
Horsey.
Get that horse circle going.
Yep. This is pretty simple because your head is slightly turned up as she looks up in fear. Your muzzle's done pretty accurately. I would just widen a bit more, straighten it, or like center it towards the eyes. This is why we use that line to bisect the head, so we can figure out left eye, right eye, muzzle. So we center this bad mumba jumba up. Then we can do those little horse snooties. We can also recenter the mouth. Oh gosh, I'm late! In a Hank Hill voice. Because that should be Twilight's new voice. Hank Hill. Woo!
Next gen. That's Twilight.
And then we just place back down the eyes. Your eyes are about the right size. Your muzzles about the right size. Your proportions are fine. We just want to recenter the face. We're gonna take it in plastic surgery and refix that. I would also watch the mane a little bit because you've made it very small. So if we take this head circle, which represents the head, their manes are huge. They're just like these big overflowing things on top of the head. Don't be afraid to make big manes because they do control the head. I love the doodles going on the side. And then finally the ear. So the ear is going to come along the side. I'm going to change up color because it's getting hard for me to see now. The ear is going to come along the side of your head. Because you're tilted, you're actually going to lose part of that section up top of the ear. And voila. I don't know, you're going to go, but how do I do that? I'm going to tell you how, and this is great. There's these things called references. References are your magical bread and butter for figuring this stuff out. Where do you get a reference from? Well, we have the reference bureau. You can go on to Derpy Bureau and find all sorts of screenshots of the show, or you could find screen or images from other artists. They're also great references. Or you could hop on Netflix or your download folder or wherever else you find the MLP show and just turn on an episode. Guess what? There's a bunch of horses on the screen doing horse things. You can pause and look at them and be like, that's the pose I want. And then, eventually you're going to hit this point of figuring out proportions of those. And no longer you're going to be drawing close to that. You're just going to be using the reference as a reference off to the side going, oh yeah, the leg's about that long to the head. It's great.
It's going to be a beautiful evolution.
And no, that's not Magic Kindergarten. Everyone uses references. And if they say they don't use references, they're probably lying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might have a few pictures without a reference beside them, but hey, they probably have a library of references built into their head from doing thousands of other pictures.
I think there's a major misconception where people think I want to be able to draw without references because that's how it's the right way to draw, and that's not true at all. People that do it have studied references forever, and sure, they have pictures in their head, and sometimes, most of the time, they're probably going to need to get other references to help them. But it doesn't mean that they stop using references forever once they get to a certain point. And I think people think like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm trying to draw without a reference. There's no reason to try to draw without a reference. There never is. Doesn't make you better. It just makes you do things like anatomy issues that you could have had a reference to help you with, that kind of stuff. Ooh, we got a submission from the cat. The Picarto chat.
All right. Well, I think we're done with this picture, so that's very good timing.
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum. Horse. Just resize.
Oh my gosh. Zamzam, you have to scroll down
Scroll down what?
on the canvas.
Our canvas?
Yeah.
Should I be concerned? Oh, geez.
I was like, oh, get ready for the next image, and then suddenly, cute pencil case, cute art.
That's very, very adorable horse.
So adorable. And a Raritato.
And
Because Raritatos are the best. You know it's true.
yeah, it's pretty true. I'm gonna feel bad because I have no plate. Oh wait, yeah.
We did it.
Hey phone, what time do you? Oh, that's my older brother. 1 second.
Sure thing.
So I pasted this picture. Do you have any questions for us about this one?
Yeah, we'd love to have any questions you have, Karma. Anything you want help with?
Because I'm liking what I'm seeing here. As far as, hey, I want to do some sketches to work on posing and moving and all sorts of happy action. This is great.
Mm-hmm. Some advice on poses. Well, I have to agree, like Zamzam said, these are great to get out the feeling of a different pose and such. But all in all with poses, I would say let yourself loosen up. If you look at the pink drawing happening right now by Cute Pencil Case, you notice how none of her lines are just one stroke or, it seems here like you have a lot of base things, which are great, circles, lines, all that stuff, but it feels very restrictive. It feels like you're not letting yourself sketch. Like you have to do one line and then be done. But with sketching, it's a great time to use multiple lines, really feel that flow, build it into the picture itself. Like I said, as we're watching CPC draw here, it's not just one stroke and done. It's a lot of just pulling in. She started with one swoopy line and she's following that swoopy line and building on it, and something important is just building and building and building on it. You don't have to stop at one line. You can keep going with it and push it.
Till eventually it creates a monster!
Oh no!
Yeah, I've created a monster because nobody wants to. No.
And as for being afraid of just trying new poses, there's no easy answer other than don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid to just put out, 10 sketches that could be messy, or maybe one of those 10 turns out to be a really nice flowing pose. You just can't be afraid to keep putting stuff out there.
Playing is the best way to get better at that type of stuff. You can I mean, you can do the same boring standing pose 1,000 times. Hey, we're going to do 3/4 standing. Great. Proud of you for doing that again and again and again. It's boring. You want to make something more interesting? Go grab those references from the show and go do them.
Yes.
And then start expanding on them. Because even MLP, like the show, they don't really abuse the power that you could be getting from some of these references. Or some of the posing. Because they're tame. The reason? They gotta animate that stuff, man.
Yeah. And plus, they can use the excuse of animation to get across way more than we can in a still image.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even, get other references too. Like we talked previously, get cats, get dogs, get horses, try to make a pony into an alligator. It's pushing yourself, Don't be afraid to take reference from other things, other people, all that stuff. It'll help you in the long run.
Absolutely. But as far as issues with these pictures, I got none. You're doing rough sketches, and your rough sketches are looking good.
Mm-hmm. Keep it up. Keep pushing yourself.
Drop and give me 100 more.
Yes.
Glad to be of service. I don't know what service we offer, but hey, it's a service.
Apparently.
Yep. Alright, so on to the next one, I guess. Q Pencil Case is doing something silly over on the side.
Oh no.
I'm adorable down there. Just adorable. So adorable. Let's see. It's gonna be this one bottom left of the four we placed. Yeah. Need some help that you guys can give. Need some help that you guys can give me, please. Sad face, and it's by Alphonse. Sure.
I won't try. I know I'll butcher it.
Nope, that's their name now. Alphonse. Yeah. So let's talk views. As we said in the other 3 pictures, references. Come on. Just eat those references. You're going to pour yourself a big bowl of referencios, and you're going to just chew on them and eat them and digest them and then make beautiful art. Wow, that went weird.
That did.
Yeah.
That did.
So let's talk about this. How can we proportion out stuff so we know what we're doing? Well, I got methods.
Yeah. CPC just did a very valuable thing, especially because I think I remember you talking about this is all for the goal of making a reference for your character. Guidelines, these big old guidelines will be your best friend. Super duper. Like you should flip your paper and you could use those lines as your guidelines maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's already lined paper. Why not?
Yeah.
We aren't gonna. Well, we might bite your head off for lined paper. Maybe. Give us some time. At least it's not grid paper.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to use rulers.
Oh my gosh, rulers, people. Dude.
Yes, you're allowed to.
They're like these straight lines that you can just hold above things and.
It's crazy.
I know. Some people.
So, I think overall, you have a decent understanding going on. I think you're just being very strict with yourself. All this seems very. I don't see any semblance of undersketching. This all seems very rigid and just stiff. I'd like to see, let yourself sketch a bit, scribble a bit, doodle a bit. And it's okay to do that to figure things out. And you don't have to have it perfect, pristine, clean lines on paper for it to have a traditional drawing or any kind of drawing. See, CPC just did a nice. She's like our live action drawer for examples.
Yeah. Yeah. Where am I going with this one? Yeah, go eat your references up. Your reference, cycling back. Okay.
Yeah.
Your horse here. Your face looks fine. Your ears move down to the side.
Mm-hmm.
As they sit halfway on the head and then grow up from there to be big earios. Apparently, O's is now a thing.
I believe it.
Nope, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I believe Eerios are totally a thing.
Okay. That explains what happened to a bit in my ear. Everything else is fine. Like the leg width, yeah, give it a bit more leg width. Although you could always stamp a style tag on there and wander away. Do we allow those anymore, Allie?
It depends. I mean, it depends how much you want to learn. If you're just having fun, go for it. If you want to do some improvement, try some new things. Push yourself. Yeah, it's very, very show style. I would just say keep at drawing. It's so terrible that I feel like this advice is so dumb to give, but sometimes you just need to keep at it, practicing, so you feel that comfort.
Yeah. Don't feel bad about that, Allie. It's right advice. We got a
especially with something that's like super anatomy based, like a reference sheet.
Oh yeah, and don't like your reference sheet can be perfect, but don't care if it is. Every artist is going to change it and make it their own style anyway. So if your reference sheet is off, its proportions look weird. Heck, you made it in the pony generator, General Zhao's, whatever. As long as you have a reference, more artists are happy with just having a reference. Like I know when people ask me to draw their horse and they don't have one, I'm like, just go to General Zhao Maker, make it how you want, and send it off to me because dang it, I'm going to get it wrong if you don't tell me.
Uh-huh.
So good on what you're doing. Keep it up. Draw more horses. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Horsies. All right, let's go on to the next one. Because I think we're losing track of what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, it's an Applejack.
Anyone else? Ooh.
Yeah, anyone?
She's a cutie blush horse.
Bueller?
Bueller?
Yeah, this one is...
something.
Sorry?
Sorry.
We're... Allie.
Yeah.
Get your butt over here. We'll stop talking over each other.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, good. All right, so this one is by Fallen Samuel. I suggest standing back up. What do you think? Any comments?
Oh, hey, we got a fluffy Zai.
What? Oh, hi, Zai.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream, Zai.
Hi.
I hope packing was fun.
I exist.
Stranger Sora said a wild fluffy Zay appeared.
It took you a while to try and figure out how to properly pack all the plushies in without crushing them.
Oh no, I wasn't packing yet. I haven't even gone close to that.
I suggest getting like cat carriers and putting your plushies in there so they have breathy holes.
Yes.
But what if the plane wants to put them in the pet section? I'm just kidding, they don't have a pet section.
Or they're support animals. They are support animals, damn it.
Alright, so let's talk this pitch. Oh, it looks like we got Zai marks on it. Cool.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Nothing at all, buddy. I was
You're
about
just
to.
ahead of us.
Yeah.
You're better. You're doing good.
Dun, 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 dun.
So the neck comes in at a very jagged angle. In the original thing, it's just like boom, there's the neck. So have it come in. I probably overshot it a little bit, but have it come in a bit of a softer curve because it's not a sudden. She's not a doll. It's not going to suddenly jut into the neck. She's going to have some curve there. I felt the elbows were a bit pointy as well on the hooves, so it was like, bam, I can stab with my elbow.
Wait, you can't?
I don't have very pointy elbows now.
Oh.
My sister did and would always try to attack me with them. So I'm maybe a bit biased and want round, squishy ponies instead.
I I can understand why.
Just have the images of Fluffy Zai guarding himself with a bunch of plushies as he gets assaulted with elbows. Elbow drop off the corner of the bed. Here we go.
I do like the sort of curve that you have with the head shape. It's maybe sort of bring it out so like, oh, here's the temple, and then it comes in where the eye is, and then boom, there's the pudgy, squishy cheek. Make sure with your ears as well. You can sort of maybe hug this one. If I can even do this right, hug this one a bit back because we're seeing sort of like a 3D perspective. You could even get away with not having it at all, but that would imply that the ear on the side, if we're sort of imagining the other side of the head, is coming backwards. So since it's going outwards, we are seeing it. That's sort of good, but from the angle, I think the perspective would be like this, and it would be a bit more tightly in. That's just because it is still going back. It's not like turning straight out at the side of the head, if that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's much else I can think of. Or maybe you could maybe bring your mane down a little bit, make it a bit poofier, because it's kind of thin, and you've got plenty of room on the forehead here to add that nice swishy pony mane. Lots of volume to it.
That's a cutie patootie pony mane volume.
Yeah. Got the hat. I always struggle at drawing Applejack's hat. It's really difficult. That's really small.
She has secrets in those hats.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to draw. You don't know those secrets.
It was very hard to like discern anything from the sketch because honestly it's very hard to see. You can usually, like with your phone, you can usually open up like a picture editor and do some like brightness contrast stuff to make it a little bit more visible in the photo. But maybe you can just go over your lines a little bit, just make them a little bit stronger on the page as well. Not essential, it's just a bit hard to sort of see what we're doing. The elbow attack. You get a tick. Like they do in school. Say this is good. I like your expression though. It's like it's not super detailed, but it gives across what you're trying to do, so that's cool. I think its body's probably a bit too small. More like there. So notice outside of your page now, but it's just like figuring out, even if it's something we can't really see, because then that helps you understand where the anatomy is going. So allow us to try and help you with that, since we can just keep drawing. There's no canvas boundaries here, except the one that's like right over here. Which I guess means there is a canvas boundary, but you know what I mean.
I don't.
Oh no.
I'm lost.
Come back.
Baby, come back.
Baby, come back to me.
Don't no, we'll be attacked with flags.
Maybe he stepped away from
Don't you know that angers the dinosaurs? There, see? A flag has snuck its way into our canvas. It's all your fault. And it just like appeared in the Applejack mouth. Like a cheat code was entered. Just
She's the
spawn
most
flag.
honest, you know,
Yes,
she
she won't stand for none of your stealing songs with your mouth by singing them, which is totally somehow stealing.
Totes makes
Thanks,
sense.
YouTube.
No problem.
I think the face is fine. It's perfectly cute. I can't see the canvas is like, but don't forget them freckly freckles because
Yeah,
they're
I think
cute.
that was one of the.
And I often forget them.
Oh, same. I forget her freckles and her.
If you can forget wings and horns, then like unicorns and pegasi, then you can forget, well, like both of them on an alicorn, you can forget freckles.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately,
But she's so cute with them.
every pony's cuter with freckles and socks and fluffy chests.
I'm looking at you, Luna. Pictures of freckly Luna.
Freckle butts are super cute.
Mm.
Well, that's an inappropriate picture.
Well, then you better not show it.
Just... Is this stream being done on YouTube? The stream gets done on Picarto and then uploaded to YouTube. And there's an appropriate.
Such cute freckles all over.
Royal Sketch went down. CPC is giving us directions to Freckly Luna. I'm putting all these freckles on the Applejack now.
So many freckles.
Body freckles.
So does anyone else have any pictures they'd like to submit? Any other questions they'd like to ask?
Any ponies they want to hug?
Well, that would be all of them.
That's a good choice. Good choice of ponies.
Yeah, solid. 10 out of 10 would hug again.
Who is over here on the left crying, saying don't hurt the ponies, and why would ponies be hurt? They're drowning in their own tears now.
The elbow.
Oh, because of the elbow attack. Yeah. Don't want to hurt ponies. It's bad. They're good creatures. Oh no.
If not, I mean, we can end.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. What strategy for creating geometry on ice?
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Save. Horse. Now find some space.
Stranger Sora said
Do we
Ponies
have
on
a new
Ice,
pick?
the musical.
I'd watch it.
Space has been labeled on the canvas. We just got to draw like stars and moons. CPCs on that while I try to find where my mouse is. Oh no. Our brains went to the exact same point of the canvas to fill. Oh no, we did it again. We're always like, oh, this is where something should go next. Now there's a pony in space. A frozen pony in space. How? Well, of course, if you put Rainbow Dash in space, she's gonna freeze. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's true.
But she's frozen because it's so cold in space. We need to just rub this space out, unfortunately. And then, oh, even though there's a sun right on top of her, she's still frozen.
I do believe
So-
it's artist training ground
Yes.
because they posted
I
about
act-
it.
I forget that exists, and then it's like, oh, I'm doing this. And it's like, oh, that I never do that.
Do it.
So what is the context? Is she not in space?
Oh, is this the you know the Christmas tale where they all freeze because they're
Ah,
each other?
hearth's warming.
Yeah.
The hearth's warmingest. She just needs a warm heart.
So something I would suggest, instead of looking up references of ice, look up references of gems. And, like
Ooh.
other crystals, because it seems like because ice is crystallization of water, so
Mhm.
crystals will also give you that very stark geometrical, because of course nothing freezes like that. When ice freezes on something, it's usually smooth.
Yeah.
Crystals and different types
You're
of
trying to put
minerals.
across an idea, and
Yeah.
that can do it. Did they have any specific questions? I need to get the Picato open still.
They just said they were having a hard time deciding where to add facets and where to make big facets.
This is the best part. It's art. You get to do what you want. Why? Because you get to write the rules about your picture.
Mm-hmm. If you feel like something is not big enough or you feel something's too small, you have the power to change that. I think something that would benefit with these facets is that you have a little bit more stricter lines. They're very faded facets and very thick. Usually you can see some, like in the yellow crystal CPC drew to the left of your pony, you usually can see some very stark, hard edges because the sun's hitting it and hitting the edges that'll make a very bright shine to it. And there'll also be darker areas, the shadow and the depth of the ice, and not everything just gets illuminated the same
Yeah.
color. So you can make the facets wherever you want, but the idea of building their form with light and shadow will really help that pop and make it seem not flat.
Just make it uneven, build each thing off of the next part. And it can look natural. That's why I'm talking so quiet today.
You hiding?
I feel unable to make lots of voice happen.
Fair enough. You got to save all that energy for Galacon.
Mm-hmm. Gonna need it.
I got nothing else to add to this. You guys have straight up covered that.
Yeah. If they have any other more questions, we can.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Anything
that was
else you want us?
understandable.
Anything else you want us to look at? Just let us know. If there's anything else you're wondering about it.
And if anyone else has any other art or questions, feel free to throw it, or else we'll be wrapping up soon.
Not that one, they say. They don't have any more questions on this one.
General questions. Are fingers, claws actually possible to... yes. But,
Of course.
yeah. References.
I was trying to draw a hand like earlier, and I know your pain.
I have
But it is possible, because I think I succeeded.
Well done. I have good news for
It
you,
looks like a
Dilated, though.
hand.
You have a reference real close by. In fact, you have 2 of them.
No.
Honestly, I always struggled really bad trying to use my own hands as references. Unless it's like exactly like the pose is exactly where I just hold up my hand in a natural like pose. Otherwise, it's like you have to twist your hand around to the other side.
Yeah.
It's like and I didn't have a mirror like at hand to look at.
Something I Captain Hook.
Just make all your characters Captain Hook. There you go, job done.
Great,
Or
yeah.
ponies, you know.
Yeah.
Ponies don't have to have fingers.
Hoovesies.
But we work in hooves on this channel.
Something I think just to keep in mind to not let hands and claws be so overwhelming is to just simplify them. You know, they don't have to. We see hands a lot, so we know they're off when we can't see all the details and stuff. So we need to like learn the simplifications of hands, like where the joints are, how they bend, and approximate how long segments are. So it's like don't forget to simplify too. Don't forget to break it down. Oven mitts for everybody.
Back to the comic, I don't draw hands. Alright, anyone else have questions? Artist with big old cartoony fingers. Well, I mean, they might have just hit them with hammers. Bum, 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 bum. We do.
I build my hands out of trapeziums.
What is a
Boom.
trapezium? What is a trapezium?
You're an artist zombie. It's a shape. The shape that goes like this. It has one side is longer than the other side.
A trapezoid?
Yeah, that's another name for it, or a type of it, or something. I don't know, but it's a trapezium.
Hey Google, what's a trapezium?
Oh no, the cell phone.
Uh-oh. Hey, no.
Doesn't like you. At least that's what like it was always called in school and stuff.
Oof. Keep pencil case. There's a time for you to shine if you want. Some
Oh, no.
general advice on drawing good-looking fluff. And Fluffy's eye too. You guys both should tag team this.
There's also like general advice, like being loose and natural. Something I learned recently for like my chest fluff, because I was really like unsatisfied with it. So okay, I'm gonna do some like doodling. It's just gonna be on top of the thing. Whatever. Here's a pony. General little pony, whatever. So here's the chest. Whatevs. So how I've been doing it recently is, well, CPC does hair doodling. No, I'm trying to find a color I can draw with. Okay, that works. How I've been drawing it before is sort of like this. I do lots of loose strokes coming around. It's like, okay, cool. But I didn't really like that, and I couldn't figure out why. And I realized it's because it's very much like it's hanging over the body, so you can imagine like a shadow. It's basically sort of like a layer that's hanging down, and that's fine. But how I started doing it now is like I can't go back any further than that, so that I have to do. I'll do that, and then I'll sort of break it, so it sort of comes out and then blends back in again. Goes both ways. So instead of like hanging down, you've got this like open area here. So I don't know. And I just do little doodles.
Doodly 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 doodly.
So that way, so you've got like fluff starts here, then fluff is super thick here, then it thins back out again, and then goes back into the body. If that makes any sense. Where, CBC has done her plus, yeah. So different sizes, different directions. Break them up.
And try not to have points.
There's
Sharp points.
There's something they aren't telling you about this though. So, do you know how the Flash goes so fast? It's because he's gained access to the Speed Force. And the Speed Force is like this energy that binds.
Yeah, I remember
speed.
game theories talking about that.
So Fluffy's Eye and Q Pencil Case have gained access to what is called the Fluff Force. Now, the proper way of doing this is by building a temple to the Fluff Gods. The temple to the Fluff Gods is as many fluffy things as you can possibly pack into a room and then triple it. I know, you're going, but I've already filled the room. You aren't trying hard enough. You just gotta increase the fluff.
Your fluff must pierce the heavens.
Yeah.
It's over fluff 1,000.
Yeah, lots of sort of waviness, lots of like keeping it loose, not too pointy. Or you can have it pointy, but you know, it's depending on sort of how soft or how rigid you want it to look. Because points can work too, but I think keeping it consistent between them, like going for sort of a pointy look or for a rounded, soft look, it just depends on the style, on the character, on how you want the fur to look.
Yeah.
Aliclaw is drawing an adorable fluffy thing over there.
I mean, she always managed to
left.
find off the canvas.
Yes. I was about to say, let's go to the left. Oh, there we go.
Just drawing a fluffy puppy.
Yes.
Let's see here.
So I don't know if I have any other advice on the floof that we haven't already given. Just look at references, I suppose, for any small details, but just sort of listen to what we've said.
Yeah.
Mostly on the stuff about sort of whether you do it long or wavy or sort of short and brushy, you can do just sort of keep it different directions, different sizes, and break it up. Because if it's too consistent, and it's just like the same like shape over and over again. Like, where am I? If it's just like this, that doesn't look right at all. So you want it like lots of. Yeah, you want to keep it inconsistent in each little stroke. They're not listening. They're gone building a temple.
Oh no.
It was
The cult
inevitable.
of fluff.
All right. Anyone else have any art they'd like to submit? Any other questions they'd like to ask? Now's your chance to ask Fluffy's Eye what his deepest, darkest desire is. Well, he's still tired. He might just answer it.
What?
To hug a pony.
Low blow. Yes. Wait, that's not
Strangersaurus
deepest. I
said
tell
Fluffy's
everyone
Eye,
that.
What is your deepest, darkest desire?
I don't know. To fly across the world and hug all y'all.
Dad is a great one.
You're gonna be able to hug CPC shortly. You're what?
Yes.
3 days? 2 days?
Oh, Fluffy.
It's too soon.
Yeah, doing 100 claws is a great way to do something. Lauren Foss was once asked how you get good at drawing. She said draw something 1,000 times and then draw it 1,000 more. Something along those lines. You gotta draw. You gotta put in the hours to get the work done. You can't...
I also say, why specifically claws? Make some of those 1,000 things like just hands or paws or hooves or whatever you want to do. You can do different shapes and sizes of hands, different sort of weights of skin, and yeah, you can do your pointy claws. You can do sort of more bird talon type things. Experiment, and you'll get more experience between them from pushing yourself in different directions. You'll understand the boundaries.
Yeah, and I think it's also important that yes, you gotta like to really get to know something. You draw a lot, but you have to like consciously think as you're drawing. You can't just be mindless, or else sometimes you can pick up stuff from mindless. I'm not saying that's impossible, but to truly improve, to truly understand what you're doing, you gotta really concentrate, use references, like put thought towards learning.
Mm-hmm.
It
Because
might.
if you just mindlessly draw like, I don't know, 20 claws, does it really get better?
Yeah, so think about like why you're drawing them and what you're trying to figure out with drawing. So it's like I'm trying to try different poses. Great, cool. I'm trying to do the same pose, but I'm trying to do it slightly differently, slightly more detailed. Maybe like change how the fingers are placed. More intricate detail. Cool. Maybe the same pose, but I'm trying different types of hands and stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying the same pose, but the other hand, or the other side of the hand, or different directions of the hand. Those things. And it doesn't even have to be like exactly I'm going to accomplish this, but just sort of drawing a hand, a claw, whatever, because
Yeah.
you're like I'm trying to do this for a picture and I'm trying to figure it out, or I wasn't able to do this very easily the last time I did a picture, so I'm trying to just experiment and see if I can get better at figuring this position out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna be in the background going, yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
tell them. It'd be funny if you couldn't hear us at all, so you're just generally just like, yeah, that thing you said.
I agree with everything you said. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, isn't that what you just said? The truth.
You tell him, Allie.
What? Where? A moth is attacking me.
Oh no.
You should make friends with it, because it might just
I think
be
they're just exploring. I'm very excited.
It could just be a breezy.
It ain't easy being breezy.
My YouTube notifications just popped up with, like, a Game Grumps upload, and then the moth just like for 5 straight seconds just like flooded straight onto the icon. It's like, oh, it's a fan of Game Grumps. High five.
Alright, anyone else have any art they would like to submit? Any other questions they'd like to ask? I don't got a third one. Any other advertisements they'd like us to push?
Any hugs you want to give us?
By the way, this stream brought to you by Fluff. May the power of Fluff compel you.
Forever and always.
This stream is also brought to you by pencils. They aren't quite as evil as you imagined.
Especially when you put them in a pencil case of the cute variety.
You should not stab cute pencil case.
No, put
no.
them in the pencil case. Stab her? Jeez. Where's your mind going? I have a pencil case shaped like a penguin, okay? I would describe it as a cute pencil case.
I want pictures of said penguin.
His name is Pengy-san. I've had him for many years.
Adorable.
Alright, well, it looks like we got no further pictures. So, thank you all for joining us. And we might not be on next week. I don't know. It's up to Fluffy Zai and Allie Claw. Because I'm not going to be here.
Oh my god.
Yes, my son?
God damn it.
Yes,
That's such
my
a
daughter?
lame joke.
Cute pencil
Damn.
case said give me your pencil
Sweet
case
Celestia, shut
XAI.
up.
Aha.
Well, so long.
I was waiting for you to be like, yes. I am the beautiful princess.